our children safe. Whether we want it now.
On Saturday, a For the Children protest was held in London where people gathered to speak about all forms of child abuse. Now, survivors took to the stage bravely, sharing their stories and demanding justice. And many expressed anger, saying the government has known about these issues for decades but has done nothing, covering up thousands of cases like those in Rotherham, Rochdale, Telford and the children care homes such as Beach Home. They also raised their concerns around knife crime, which is rife throughout the UK. But the crowd made it very clear that enough is enough. Now, after the speeches, protesters marched to 4 government agencies, handing over a letter demanding urgent attention and a focus on protecting children. But tensions rose when a small group arrived waving a Palestinian flag.
That was fucking deliberate.
And trying to cause disruption. But the speakers and most protesters remained focused and determined not to let the message be overshadowed. Well, I spent the day speaking to the event organisers, speakers and attendees to find out why they were there. Okay, so for people watching this, we don't know who you are. Okay. Who are you? Where we're going right now?
My name's Phil Hickin. I'm one of the For the Children team. We're going to hand a letter. We're going to hand a letter in. These are the letters of our demands. We're handing them in at 4 places. The Department of
Health and Social Care, the Home Office, the Department of Education and at the Crown Prosecution Service. Because we think they're the 4 government agencies who have the most impact, potentially, on saving children.
And what's inside these letters?
Just a statement of intent, why we're doing it and what we expect from the state.
Tell us, why is it important that people like yourself stand up and speak out?
Well, as today it's for the children. I think we need to make sure that what these atrocities that have happened across the country, not just the grooming gangs, across the board, the abuse of children, we need to ensure that we safeguard kids going forward. So, too many kids have been let down.
You are obviously an abuse survivor, but you're also an activist. Yeah. Now, I think it is so much more powerful than, as we as survivors speak out and tell people in the country what's been happening. But I know that there's some professionals that say we should remain silent and allow them to speak for us.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I don't know. To remain silent, and I think some people can't speak out because they're too traumatised. So hence they won't speak out because you're taking so much from them and you've damaged them beyond anything.
So my name is Sydney Jones. I used to be a journalist, like an independent journalist, but I wanted more change to be done rather than just exposing stuff. I wanted actually to demand change, so I became an activist. A lot of my activism surrounds itself on transgenderism in schools and why it's bad, and sort of opposing Antifa quite a lot. Males and female changing rooms, that's a big part of what I do, but a lot of what I do as well is child care and child safety, and the amount of people that are let off with really slap on the wrist cases for child pornography or even rape as a whole.
What brings you to the event today?
Just because of the state of the country's in at the moment. Our kids aren't safe on the streets, they're getting raped, they're getting abused. There's just everything that's happened to this country. It's just a mess.
I'm here today because my son was a victim of robbery. Him alongside his friends currently have been getting robbed after walking home from school, being followed into their flats and being robbed with boys with knives.
They turn around and call for whistleblowers to speak up and tell the truth about what's happening, and then they try to shut you down. And they will do everything in their power because they don't want the political elite in Westminster to be known, because we've got 66 politicians at this very, very moment, and 150,000 indecent images are seen on electronic devices in the Palace of Westminster.
child abuse is absolutely rife throughout the country, and all different forms of it. Do you think that there's people in this country that take it seriously enough?
No, I don't think it is taken seriously enough, because it's went on for years and years and years. The government just seem to be turning a blind eye against it.
So I stand in solidarity with For the Children, Unite the Children, all the different campaigns and behind all the different men and women and committees who have quite literally given up their lives to voice to the British public the concerns of ordinary, hard-working, concerned citizens with regards to the institutionalised and government-backed, facilitated rape, murder, torture, but most importantly the cover-up angle. We have to start saying, with the most heinous of crimes, if you are involved in any way in being involved in facilitating, covering up, you are complicit. So this is an important show to the British public where survivors actually tell their story of not just what happened to them, but the situation they were involved in, who was there to support them. What about people who don't necessarily have a family who look after them? What about those people who have been abused, who have been put into facilities where abuse is fostered? What happened to these people? So I say to the middle classes, and I say to the people in gated communities, imagine if that was your child, and it happens all the time. Now I'm here today to make a specific video to say that in the most heinous of crimes we need to bring back the death penalty. There's some things that you just can't sort out, you just need to kill it. We also need to make sure that people like Andrew Tate have absolutely no place whatsoever on social media. He is radicalising young men who spend their time online looking for higher purpose, and that links to the fact that we need to reinstate Christianity back into the heart of government and bring back Old Testament justice. That is saying no more to those who think it's okay to interfere with children, which brings us on to lawlessness. There is no deterrent for the sick-minded and the sick-willed. There is no deterrent. As soon as you make that deterrent clear, these people who are sick, who think these things, stop doing them. And we can all understand that, can't we? If you are sick and you don't do it, you need help. But when you go that stage further and do the unthinkable, it's time for Old Testament justice. Now, I could go on and on into policy areas, but this is an issue that is never going to go away, and until we deliver justice back to the British people, there is no hesitation when I say this. Silence is very much violence. We must deliver justice back to the British people, and that means delivering justice back and making sure that those involved in the most heinous of crimes, their voices get heard, and we start saving as many vulnerable adults, young girls, young boys. It happens to adults as well, but we need to make sure those voices get heard, and we need to deliver justice back to those people, if that's even possible to do.
You spoke about Andrew Tate and influencing young boys. There's also a lot of talk about the female prostitute Bonnie Blue and influencing young girls. What's your thoughts on her?
Sure. So Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips need to be arrested and sectioned for their own sake and for the sake of the British public. So at the exact same time, let's list it, at the exact same time that we're at the height of the grooming gang and the paedophile Pakistani grooming gang mafia and the paedophile Pakistani grooming gang mafia, at the height of that conversation due to Elon Musk and international notoriety, we also have two white girls making sure they go viral having sex with multiple migrant men. At the same time, we see Easter being shut down in schools for the sake of religious tolerance. At the same time, we see a Netflix documentary based on a man of colour, a boy or a man of colour, who performed the most heinous, most despicable, indescribable of crimes, portrayed as a white lad. It's an attack on whiteness. It's an attack on the British people. Lily Phillips, Bonnie Blue, flying the flag to say, essentially, welcome more migrants in. These are the good guys. We're choosing it. We deserve it. Is it a psyop? I'll let you guys decide whether it is or not. They need to be arrested and sectioned. Who behaves like that? Who behaves like that? It is all to do with watering down our culture. It is all to do with denigrating Christianity. It is all to do with saying that we are good for the taking. You can behave however you like. We've descended into degeneracy. What message is that sending to young boys and girls whose parents have completely lost control of them?
Until somebody actually stands up in chamber and demands public inquiries into so much abuse. It's not just one subject. There's the satanic abuse. There's the ritual abuse. There's historic child abuse, the grooming side of it, the trafficking side of it. But there are certain people that are complicit. And for the reason why, I mean, a very good friend of mine is an ex-Metropolitan Police officer, and they told him he was getting to name too many people, high-profile people, i.e. like politicians, judges, and senior people that were out there.
It's just obvious with the lenient sentences. It's like, oh yeah, you see so many reoffendings, and it's sort of like, oh, you could have prevented it, but oh well, oopsie daisy, we accidentally didn't. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like I'm taking mine to court now. I reported it. I reopened the case last year. My investigations officer has told me that it might not go to court because it's not in the public's interest.
Why do you think they're turning a blind eye?
Because probably half of them are in on it as well.
Do you think politicians have got a silver spoon at the backside and they're out of touch?
They've got too many skeletons in the closet.
Well, that's the end of today's march. However, the event organisers have said that their marches will continue until the government start and recognise the importance of protecting children. Thank you for watching. I'm Sammy Woodhouse at Rebel News.